U.S. forces have seized a Russian-flagged oil tanker before Russian warships and a submarine could reach it. This is the U.S. forces seizing the Russian-flagged oil tanker. Oh my God. American satellites always watching. I mean, like, the thing is that, I mean, I really think it's probably hard. Like, they gotta get some submarines or some shit like that, right? I mean, like, because all you really gotta do is you're just looking at the water and it's like, there it is. Right? I mean, there it is. It's a fucking boat going around. It's like, yeah, what the hell is that? It takes like 3 seconds to do that. The subs are really bad. Their subs are really bad. Are they? I don't know. What's the helicopter doing? Oh, there it is. We got an S-tier military? Yeah, they're really doing a lot. Apparently Russia had subs escorting it. Really? I don't see them. Yeah, it sure seems like it didn't matter. I saw this Call of Duty. Yeah, I guess so. It's another Call of Duty, right? This looks like the intro to Metal Gear Solid 2. Yeah, I always wanted to play those games. I never really got around to it. Maybe one day I will. We have sensors and listening devices all under the water in the oceans. We know where their subs are all the time. I mean, like if your job was to be in the military and find the underwater boats, I mean, I feel like that's probably what you would do, right? I mean, like, what the fuck else are you gonna do? So yeah, makes perfect sense to me. Yeah, 4 is bad. Maybe, I don't know. Tom Clancy would have loved this. Yeah, it's actually, like, honestly, they have just been, like, they've been doing so much recently with the military. It's been insane. I wonder what the troops think about this. Because if I was thinking about it, from every guy that I know that's in the military, I think I know what they think about this. I do. Yeah, they love it. I bet they are absolutely... This is why they signed up. This is exactly it, bro. These are guys that grew up playing Call of Duty, watching Save It Private Ryan, etc. This is what they want to do. They're galvanized? Yeah, I bet it is. I think there's a reason why military recruitment is so high. I mean, I don't think that we really should be getting the military into things that we don't have to. I mean, of course, right? Because it's putting their lives at risk. But at the same time, you know, sometimes it is a good decision. And when it is, it's good to have people that are motivated to do it. A combat veteran can confirm. Yeah, exactly. They finally get to do the fun stuff now. Yeah, no doubt. I remember this COD mission. As soon as Trump won, recruitment increased a lot. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that anybody expected it to be like this, though. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I don't think anybody thought this shit was fixing to happen. Like, this is nuts. Okay, here we go.
Breaking news with a major development just moments ago. Sources just confirmed to CNN that the United States has seized an oil tanker that had been linked to Venezuela. Now, Russia is responding to the seizure, saying they are the owners of this vessel. The Trump administration
Why would you
has not
say
acknowledged
that?
the Russian status, claiming the ship to be stateless, but nevertheless, you can see the sensitive nature of the situation. Russia had sent ships to track and maybe even protect this vessel over the last 24 hours. The United States has been tracking it across the Atlantic. It's the same ship that the Coast Guard had tried to seize last month near Venezuela. They were unable to board it.
That's a nice
boat. The ship changed course and fled, but now the breaking
Actually, it's
news,
not. It looks like a shit,
the United
piece
States
of shit.
has seized it. Nick Robertson.
I feel like, honestly, if I was Russia, like, I wouldn't want to say I own this thing. This thing looks like a piece of shit. Really? Yeah, I'd be like, nah, it's not mine. It's a joke, yeah. Got rust all over it. It's like 22 years old. Nah, you seen our aircraft carriers? They don't have that shit on them.
Tracking the developments for us, Nick, what are you learning?
It's camouflage? Yeah.
Yeah, over the last few days, John, U.S. Air Force has been flying P-8 surveillance aircraft tracking this ship as it came into the northern Atlantic. It's been heading sort of skirting wide of Ireland, heading up towards Iceland and that sort of gap to go towards the north of Russia, the Arctic Circle. Marine tracking experts believe a vessel of this size was likely headed towards Murmansk. That was the track that it was on, but that all came to a sudden screeching halt about 2.5 hours ago. Marine trackers noticing that the ship turned direction at that moment. And this really comports with the information we're getting now that the ship has been seized by U.S. military and Coast Guard. It has been tracked closely by them, as we say.
Another boat.
Since it fled the coast of Venezuela.
We're not even going to need to make any more boats. We'll just get theirs.
About 2 weeks ago. What makes this even more interesting,
we already,
if you will, the ship, when it started its journey 2 weeks ago, was called the Bella One. Halfway along that route, it changed its name to the Marinera and reflagged itself as Russian, not clear.
So they're renaming the boat, and they thought that they were gonna fuck around. They go, oh, what if we change the name on it?
Why? Were they trying to get protection from Russia? Was it always Russian? Unclear. The port that it appeared to be headed for in the past couple of days does appear to have been a Russian port. But now that ship has turned around, no longer heading north, for the last couple of hours heading south. Not clear where it will end up. It is believed to be empty, or at least devoid of oil. We don't know what else or who else may be on board of it. But
there were a lot of people that were hypothesizing that they had weapons on the boat and they were sending them to Venezuela in order to make Venezuela more able to resist America. Now, we don't know if that's true. I'm not sure, but that's what some people were saying.
Enough for Russia to deploy military assets to try to give it some shadow of what else or who else may be on board of it, but certainly enough for Russia to deploy military assets to try to give it some shadow of some kind of protection, and clearly not enough to deter the U.S. Coast Guard and the U.S. military assets that seized it a few hours ago, John.
Too bad,
Nick Robertson tracking the situation for us. Let's go to the White House now. CNN's Elena Treen is there. Elena, bring us up to speed on what you're hearing and whether the White House is saying anything about conversations they may be having with Russia about
this. Let's go to AI.
Yeah, look, I'm actually, so this has
we
been
don't know whose boat it is.
Been, considering, John.
I know whose boat it is. What do you mean?
The oil tanker, and it comes, of course, as they have really made moves to seize other tankers off the coast of Venezuela. With the administration,
I think we all know whose boat it is.
Largely on this is that they had already moved forward with this operation in trying to get what was previously known, as Nick laid out, as the Bella One oil tanker. And so this does add the fact that Russia has, tried to claim ownership of it, that they named the tanker, does add complications to it. But John, I do want to get to some of the new reporting I have as well, and what we are learning about the Trump administration's conversations,
not just one boat,
as it relates to Venezuela and what they need to do, the conditions they need to meet.
It's a big boat situation
to resume oil production, which is of course one of the priorities for Venezuela and to continue with their economic stability. So sources have told me, White House officials, I should say,
gonna get more of them?
The Trump administration has translated to Delcy Rodriguez, the now interim president of Venezuela, that in order to resume oil production and oil sales, they must sever economic ties with the United States' foreign adversaries. That includes...
Well, that's convenient for us, isn't it? If you want to be able to make any money, you have to only do it with people that we say you can do it with. This was obviously the play. This was clearly what their goal was the entire time. They're like, okay, let's shut down everybody who is basically trying to work against us or basically aid our allies, because you isolate them as much as possible. Everything to do with Venezuela had to do with Russia and Ukraine. Well, I'd say Russia and China.
Countries like China, Russia, Cuba, Iran, all countries that have really been propping up what was Maduro's regime for so many years. They also said that they want Venezuela and the interim government to partner exclusively with the United States on this. Now, of course,
that's convenient.
The president has been making clear that a key goal in this entire operation and the next steps for Venezuela is to try and have the U.S. have a higher stake in their oil. I'm also told, according to a senior...
I think that'll be good for them, too, is if we're invested inside of Venezuela, it's like an insurance policy, really, for them, too, that, we will be invested in the best interest of their country, and also that they'll be invested in not trying to attack us or aid people against us. So I think that would be great. I'd be happy about that. we need stability. Yeah, of course, right? I mean, like the president just got fucking kidnapped. Yeah, it's crazy to even say that. That sounds like fucking that's like it's like an 80s action movie. They just kidnapped the president and he's gone.
White House official, John, that the president is meeting with different oil executives at the White House on Friday. That includes companies like Chevron, which I should note is the only U.S. oil company currently operating inside Venezuela, but also companies like ConocoPhillips and ExxonMobil. I'm told other American oil executives are expected to be at that meeting as well. This comes as the president has told others, he said this to Joe Scarborough on MS Now the other day, that essentially it's really all about the oil and that his priority is to make sure that the U.S. gets the oil. So this is going to be a huge topic of conversation, of course, as we look ahead, but also a key question, I think.
Who could have predicted this? I think that a lot of the media machine I don't think that they were prepared for Trump to say, they accused Trump of saying, I think this is actually just for oil. And Trump's like, well, actually, it's primarily for oil. So you bring up a great point. Good observation, actually.
Lawmakers in the House and Senate who are getting a full
he's just saying
members classified briefing from the Trump administration today will have.
What if some country takes Trump, like Venezuela took our president? Yeah, the reason why they hadn't taken the United States president yet is because they didn't want it. They were waiting for the U.S. to take somebody else's president. They didn't want to look hypocritical. Is that now the reason why they're able to take the president is because they wouldn't be hypocritical. That's the real reason, guys.
For those officials inside the room.
All right, Elena Treen at the White House for us, and our thanks to Nick Robertson, who's tracking the situation with that now seized vessel. All right, Sarah.
All right, joining me now is Democratic Congressman Raja Krishnamurthy of Illinois, who is also running for Senate in that state. He sits on the House Intelligence Committee. Because we've just had this breaking news, this vessel has been seized. It now has a Russian flag on it. It is a Venezuelan oil tanker that reportedly does not have any oil in it. That
How
is
convenient.
Empty. What are your concerns here? And were you briefed on any of this?
No, not at all. I think that this is obviously going to come up in our classified briefing in a couple hours. We have the right, obviously, to enforce international sanctions. However, nobody wants conflict or a war, and we don't want a situation of...
What a piece of shit, right? Oh, my God. Look at this. I mean, really? What a piece of shit.
Open hostilities.
Maybe we should give it back
to
the
Russians.
I also want to bring in CNN military analyst and retired U.S. Air Force Colonel Cedric Bolton. We also have CNN Global Affairs analyst Kim Dozier. Great to have you both. Cedric, I want to start off with you. Just a few minutes ago, we heard the news that the United States has now seized Bela 1, the oil tanker that's now under a Russian flag. It was in December under a flag of Guyana. The U.S. wasn't able to seize it about a month ago, and now successful. Take me through what you're reading into the operations out at sea.
Yeah, well, Eleni, this is a very sophisticated operation that took place here. It involved a lot of assets from both the U.S. Navy and the U.S. Coast Guard, as well as possibly some other assets, including special operations assets. So there was a movement of U.S. forces to Great Britain in the days just prior to the seizure today of the tanker Bela 1 Marinera. And that is, a critical indicator that this ship had been followed by the U.S. and they had, for whatever reason, wanted to really focus on this tanker. So
you're saying the tanker departed Iran? Yeah, it's pretty obvious that the ship wasn't moving oil. Yeah, I know that. So doesn't it strike you as odd that this ship was being escorted by Russian submarines, but it wasn't transporting oil? Doesn't that seem odd to you? I mean, that seems very, what's going on here?
on the one hand, it's an oil tanker, but there may be some other things associated with this, because if the Reuters reports are correct that Clara mentioned, then there might be something else associated with this
they got
tanker,
2 of them.
because the Russians moved assets, including possibly a submarine, to try to protect this.
Yeah.
So from a purely military standpoint, when you look at how this was undertaken, it was a very sophisticated operation, and they did it in spite of Russian attempts to protect it. And those Russian attempts were apparently, based on these reports that we're getting, unsuccessful.
All right, Kim Dozier also with us. Kim, what are you reading into this? I mean, President Trump making good on his word, frankly, and wanting Venezuelan oil. This is a tanker that they tried to seize and were unsuccessful. And of course, the question of Russia comes into play here as he tries to negotiate with them on the issue of Ukraine. Is this going to infuriate the Russians and all sides involved?
I think it's going to be embarrassing.
It may well do,
it's embarrassing for sure.
Is emboldened by the seizure of Maduro and riding high on the success of that.
True.
And the lack of the world's sort of pushback. There have been some statements against it.
What business does the U.S. have it on international waters? It's an unlawful seizure. Yep.
But it has made Trump realize anew that when you're the superpower, there's nobody who can push back in the short term to stop you. And as Cedric was saying, there was a lot of Russian attention being paid to this ship, a lot of resources and assets protecting it, which
the same
makes
tanker
you
was
wonder,
escorted to Iran by Venezuela.
Are they carrying? And now the U.S. is going to be able to find out.
Very interesting.
It also comes at the same time that both Russia and China are upset over the attack on one of their allies, Venezuela, that they rely on for oil. So it is a way of Trump sending a signal to those other would-be superpowers that he has a way of, seizing the jewels and making them sit up and take notice. But there will be some sort of payback down the line. And I don't think the White House is really calculating that yet.
Okay. For sure. And
we are also closely following.
Is there another one of these too? Yeah, because they've gotten 2 of them so far.
Following tonight, developments surrounding Venezuela. A U.S. official telling CNN the United States is pursuing a vessel
in
international waters near Venezuela. Now, it's understood that this...
never mind. This is from a while ago. Sorry, I'm thinking about another one. Because 2 of them got seized today. It said a second one. I got confused. But yeah, I misread it. And they're banning people in r/pics because they post in your subreddit. Oh, are they mad about me again? What are they mad about this time? Same people are begging Trump to be more hostile with Russia on behalf of Ukraine. Well, I mean, obviously that's what's going to happen. Of course, that's what's going to happen. And so, yeah, people like that just make shit up. They get mad about it for no reason. And, that's just that's life, right? That's life. Unlikely the vessel was carrying weapons or equipment. More likely simply part of the Dark Fleet. Think of it this way. Why would a third-party nation use a tanker for weapon transportation during U.S. blockade against tankers? I don't know. No idea why. That's why they got to go in there and look at it. Yeah, the U.S. Coast Guard seizes 2 Venezuelan oil tankers in pre-dawn raids. I've just been informed that Venezuela is going to be purchasing only American-made products with the money that they receive from our new oil deal. These purchases will include, among other things, American agricultural, American-made medicines, medical devices, equipment to improve their electric grid. I'm sorry, but this is ridiculous. You went over there and you EMP'd and you shut down their entire fucking power for the entire country. And now you're selling them better electrical devices. Jesus, man. That's a lot. Really, I mean, god damn, guys. That really is a lot. Full circle? Yeah. Oh, man. Okay, in other words, Venezuela is committing to doing business with the United States of America as their principal partner. Great. Hopefully we can work with them. They used to be a really rich country. Hopefully they can be one again. And very good thing for people of Venezuela and for the United States. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So, what is this here?
Yeah, I know. They're going to say that. I used to be a senator too. That's what you.
Variously is that you're winging it, that there's no plan.
He's winging it.
Going forward.
Yeah, I know. They're going to say that. I used to be a senator too. That's what you always say when it's the other party. The bottom line is we've gone into great detail with them about the planning. We've described it to them.
Yeah.
In fact, it's not just winging it. It's not just.
It's not just winging it.
Or speculating it's going to happen. It's already happening. Like the oil.
Yeah, we're not just winging it, guys.
On their sanctioned oil that they can't move. Understand, they are not generating any revenue from their oil right now. They can't move it unless we allow it to move because we have sanctions, because we're enforcing those sanctions. This is tremendous leverage. We are exercising it in a positive way. The president described it last night. Secretary will have more to say on it today, who is involved in running this portfolio. And we feel very positive that not only will that generate revenue that will be used to the benefit of the Venezuelan people, and we're ensured that that's what the case is, but it also gives us an amount of leverage and influence and control over how this process moves forward.
The thing is that they would have been saying that capturing Maduro was impossible too. They would have been saying that too. Oh, this is in response to the tanker seizure. Russia is threatening the United States with a missile strike. Right. Okay, guys. A military response is necessary. An attack with torpedoes and the sinking of several American ships. Oh, yeah? Oh, wow. Yeah? Oh. Yep. Yeah, true. Russia can't even win the war against smaller Russia. They can't even beat little Russia. What are they doing worrying about us? Timu Russia? I don't know, I think Ukraine's a much nicer place, it seems like to me. But it's smaller. The only thing they have is nukes? They're not going to use nukes. Why would they use nukes? It'd make everybody against them immediately. Nobody's not gonna use nukes over 2 tankers. It's not gonna happen. Yeah, he's a moron with no credibility. Don't listen. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah. Oh, this guy here. It's a deputy of the Russian state. Yeah, I don't think. Oh wow, wow. Look at that, guys. Oh, geez. And yeah. Okay, this is just more of that. Let me see if I can find any more of it too. China is a final warning. Uh-oh.
China strongly condemns this. The United States has brazenly resorted to the use of force against Venezuela and demanded that America First be applied when Venezuela disposes of its own oil resources.
Yep.
This is a typical act of bullying, a serious violation of international law, and a grave infringement on Venezuela's sovereignty that also severely undermines the rights of Venezuelan people.
Oh, jeez.
China strongly condemns this. I would like to stress that the legitimate rights and interests of China and other countries in Venezuela must be protected.
I thought we were gonna sell you shit. What are y'all getting mad about?
The United States has long imposed illegal
stuff.
unilateral sanctions on Venezuela's oil sector
Why are they getting
and has
mad?
recently brazenly used force against Venezuela, dealing a severe blow to the country's economic and social order, and also threatening the stability of global production and supply chains. China has already issued strong condemnation in this regard. I would like to reiterate that cooperation between China and Venezuela is a cooperation between sovereign states and is protected by international law and laws of both countries.
Well, there it is. So China's not happy about this either, not a big surprise. And what is this?
Does it cost when they're in the Med? I want to emphasize that question from CNN. The question's never asked how much does it cost when they're in the Mediterranean or the Red Sea or the Indian Ocean or the Pacific. But now that they're in our hemisphere on a counter-cartel mission or ensuring that an indicted individual comes to justice, now you're asking the question of cost. It's a disingenuous question to begin with. You're trying to find any angle possible to undermine the success of one of the most historic military missions the world has ever seen. The level of sophistication that Senate just was briefed on and the House was briefed on, a classified level, is something only the United States of America can accomplish. The world is taking notice of that. Certainly Venezuela is taking notice of that. And it continues because 2 oil tankers, 2 overnight, were seized by the United States of America.
So they're not, those are ours. Look up China's final warning on Wikipedia. I'm going to look you up on your logs if you type it again. You think I didn't see your message the first time? You think I missed your message? I didn't miss your message. I wish I did. Just shut the fuck up.
List or sanctioned because the oil blockade, the quarantine of oil out of unsanctioned or stateless, sanctioned or stateless vessels continues. That leverage will continue as Secretary Rubio outlined. So our military is prepared to continue this. As he said, the president, when he speaks, he means it. He's not messing around. We are an administration of action to advance our interests, and that is on full display. We're happy to brief the House.
Yeah, all right, that's great. And let's see if I find any more of these here. And no, it's not that. I'm trying to find the other stuff about the Coast Guard grabbing this nabbing the tanker. The White House, after seizing the Russian flagged oil tanker, you can run but you can't hide. There's no way. There's no way they went out and they said that shit. Like, you can run but you can't hide. I don't even believe that.